Good God morning, people of God. You have tuned in to another episode of Solutions. I am one of your hosts, Minister Corey Wright, and my co-host,
April the Agent.
We are here this morning on the Solutions Radio Show. Solutions, dedicated acts of action that bring about true change, not just talked about change. And no excuses. Excuses are man's tools of incompetence that build bridges to nowhere and monuments of nothing. Broadcasted live from IntellectualRadio.com, our heart radio station. Thank you guys for tuning in another morning. I see I got Miss Juanita from 118. How you doing? I got Miss Dominique Lewis. What's up? One of my best friends. Thank you for tuning in. Love you. People of God, today we're talking about great people and we're talking about greatness. And the question I'm asking is great people born or are they formed through hard work and dedication? And we take people like Martin Luther King, we take people like Michael Jordan and Michael Jackson. Are those people born to be what they are, or are they product of focus, dedication, and hard work? Please let me know what you think, and let me let you know now. Thank you, Dominic. You gonna feel right the other way. What? Get your big. But to me, I think that it is that they're born to be what God created them to be, and through the hard work and dedication, they work. But let me before I get started, let me talk about a couple of serious things, and I'll let my co-hosts get in. First of all, I want to talk about bullying. Anybody that's bullying, they should be ashamed of yourself. I just read the story about the 10-year-old girl who committed suicide for being bullied. And it is horrible when kids are being bullied. And I don't know if she told something to her parents, or she told something to the school. But if you're listening, you're a bully, you know what? It's terrible because you never know how it's going to affect somebody's life. Think about what happened. This girl committed suicide. Her mom, her dad, her family has to bury her. But the person that was bullying her is still a kid. And that person has to go through the rest of her life knowing that her actions or his or her actions caused this little girl's death. That's got to be very, very hard on that person. So I'm saying, people of God, is that if you're out here bullying, you should be ashamed of yourself. And we got to step up and fight bullying, because you know what? Anybody that bully, you're a coward, and it's terrible. And that this young girl lost her life. It was heart-wrenching, heartbroken, because she took her life because she felt that she had nothing else. Another announcement, all the people that know me and love me, if I do something for you, because a friend of mine wanted to thank me for something I did for her, and I told her, don't thank me. It's not that I'm being humble, but can God trust you with his glory? And if you love me and I bless you with anything, don't thank me, thank God. Because I want God to know he can trust me with his glory, and it's only by his hand that he's doing it. So thank God instead of thanking me, because I could do nothing by my own accord. Go ahead. What you think?
The situation with the 10-year-old girl is very sad. This is not something that we want to really talk about or discuss, but it has to be discussed. It has to be addressed. Make sure that you have that open communication with your children, teachers, principals. Pay attention in the schoolyards with the kids when they're taunting other children, because a lot of times I think those situations are dismissed when you just feel like it's just child's play, but sometimes it's going greater than that. You have to think about the mentality of the children, and children can be cruel. They're not thinking about what they're doing. They don't fully understand the ramifications of their actions sometimes. So we have to be that adult figure, and we have to do some thinking for the kids sometimes. So this is a very tragic situation to have to discuss and to have to approach, to have to, look at a newspaper or look on the internet and see something like this, a beautiful little girl full of life just, she was just crushed by the whole event, didn't know what to do, didn't know how to talk to her parents or loved ones about it, and she took her own life. you know it's just important to have those open lines of communications. It's important for us as adults and authority figures to take action and pay attention. I spoke one time about, I was leaving a football game in South Holland, the south suburb, Safe Holland, leaving a football game, and all these kids are fighting, and all these cars are passing by. People are slowing down, but people don't really know what to do, how to approach the situation. We're going to have to start approaching the situation, especially with all the things going on in the world. I was upset because of everything going on in the world as far as racism and things of that nature, and all these kids of the same race fighting and just doing a bunch of chaos for no reason at all. Just want to be gangster or want to be hard, and it's stupid. It's a waste of time and energy. You have more going for your life. You can make a difference. Use your superpowers for love. Use your superpowers for good and not evil. We really need to we really need to step up a little bit more as parents, educators, authority figures, people in government. You really have to stand up and do right for humanity, because right now we're failing. We're failing people. We're failing each other, and it's really sad.
Yeah, you know what? And I agree 100% because s- school is supposed to be a place where you learn and supposed to be a place of nurturing and growing. School is not supposed to be a place where you got to worry about being beat up. When I was young, and a lot of people didn't understand that, I should tell people, as people say, well, you could go run and tell the teachers, you still got to go home. You still got to go to recess. You still got to go places. And being in school, my older brother and my older sister was out of school. So, I had to fight. I had to stand up. And, sometimes I couldn't bully because, a lot of times you got these kids in gangs. They run with gangs. And a lot of times they can't say nothing. And a lot of them end up, hey, Vanessa, a lot of them end up getting into gangs for that reason. And unfortunately, our school systems feel like a jail. A lot of it has to do with how they go into the schools, whereas they got metal detectors, they got police in there. It feels like a prison. To me, the educational school system with these metal detectors, and I understand why it has to be, it's setting them up for failure. It's setting them up to think this is normal to have to come to a school. And you don't see this in these great suburban schools. These great
Yes, you
suburban
do.
schools feel like they feel like what you call universities. But our inner city schools, somebody said, hey, Vanessa said, hey,
Hey, Vanessa. I
the
didn't
inner,
want to interrupt Corby's talking.
yeah,
I
the
love
inner
you.
city schools feel like a prison. I remember when I started working 8 years ago for the 911 system for the city of Chicago, I had to go get my transcript from my high school, but it felt like going into Cook County Jail. And this is turning these kids into animals. This 10-year-old girl committed suicide. Was it somebody she could talk to? And you think about it, what is the bully? Because a lot of times the bully could be bullied at home, but could be hurting and going through stuff. So when you look at the bully has issues just like the kid has issues. And unfortunately, when they found out this kid died from being bullied, that bully gonna be messed up for the rest of his or her life.
Yes. And then the kids that saw this child being bullied beforehand, the teachers and administrators that saw this child being bullied beforehand and didn't do anything, didn't say anything, they are going to, have feelings of their own because of that. So that's why we really have to
Because
step up.
the moms should sue. I would sue the hell out of everybody. The school system, their parents, I will sue. Because this is an educational place of learning. This person shouldn't be bullied. And obvious that this girl committed suicide. She was being bullied a lot on a regular, constant basis. And I'm sure she said something to somebody.
The sad part is sometimes the educators themselves are involved in the situations that's going on in the classroom where it's the kid being taunted. The educator themselves are actually laughing about it and participating in it, sometimes even making little comments. And I've seen it and heard about it in the schools. So it's not something that doesn't happen. It does happen, and it needs to stop. It needs to be addressed.
Okay, absolutely. We're dealing with my grandson being bullied, and that's not acceptable. It's not,
Yes,
and then they also now they're trying to pass this law in the state Congress or in the Congress, in the government right now saying if a kid is being bullied, they can automatically transfer to a school or transfer to a private school. But why should they be uprooted
exactly.
or moved because somebody's bullying?
Right. The
But then
bully
at
needs
the,
to be dealt with, not the other person who's being bullied.
and this is the reason why the charter schools are taking over, because these public schools have failed to educate and failed to discipline the kids. That's the reason why you have um, you have so many kids and so many charter schools, because in charter schools you don't do that. They can put you out and don't have to deal with you. In public schools, it's like, okay, what do you have to deal with? You have to deal with this, because how can you teach kids if you can't control them? How
Yes.
can somebody learn in an environment that's uncontrollable?
Hmm.
So when I read, and I know we got a topic this morning, we're gonna
You're
get on that,
good. Let's do
but
this.
we have to talk about that, and then we need to talk about suicide. April,
Mhm.
go ahead, talk about suicide.
I wanted to talk about what you're saying right now about the children being uncontrollable. And a lot of times the parents and teachers, administrators are afraid to address the kids. And I don't really understand that because I have 4 children. So I've been inside the school system, volunteering, working, doing different things. And I can't understand why an authority figure is afraid of kids. They're afraid to approach kids and address certain things. That is a very bad, a scary, and a dangerous situation when you can't approach the kids and the kids are like, well, I'm gonna do whatever I want because they can't say nothing. They can't do nothing to me, and that's bad. That's a whole part of the disciplinary system in the schools, taking God out of the schools. All these things are a factor of why the schools are failing and why the government is failing and why we're failing each other.
I mean, you think about something. When I sit here, my heart goes out, because can you think about the disparity this young girl had to feel? Could you imagine what was happening to this young girl? And you know what? A lot of these people be bullied by their parents. I know some parents right now who cannot just take the time out and be with their kids or talk to their kids. All they want to do is beat them. All they want to do is smack them. All they want to do is hit them. So it's like, you know what? Instead of saying, let me talk to you, and let me try to work this out with you, they too busy saying, you better go to fight. You better go fight them. Or you know what? If you don't fight them, I'm gonna fight you. And then they figure that I'm gonna get beat either way. I might as well just take my life, because this beautiful young girl, and I don't know the parents, and I'm not hanging on the parents, but obvious whoever these parents wasn't talking to this girl, because she felt like she could have nobody to talk to. I don't know, because you know what, it. I'm sorry, I'm getting a
Well,
little
you
choked
can't
up.
say that. It could have been that she didn't know how to talk to her parents. She didn't know how to approach the situation. Unfortunately,
Well, you
I
know
don't want
what?
to. I don't want to speculate
I,
on the
I
parents.
do, and I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why I do, because I've seen so many parents that just holler at kids,
Hmm.
cuss them out. I've seen parents cuss kids out worse than they cussed out their enemies. I've seen this. I've seen men and women. I've seen parents who are impatient with their kids, and all they want to do is holler. All they want to do is grab a belt. I have seen parents will not sit down and talk to their kids, and then they're wondering why their kids feel that they can't talk to them. See, you know what? It is our responsibility as parents to open up the channel of communication with our kids.
Yes.
We cannot tell a kid that's 10 years old that maybe they don't know how to come to their parents. It ain't their job to know how to come to their parents. It's their job for their parents to open that communication up, and you got too many parents trying to be friends with their kids instead of being parents, instead of sitting down. You got too many parents that's standing over their kids in a threatening manner instead of coming down to their level and talking to them face to face or man to man. I always give my kids a chance to tell me something intelligent before I tear your butt up. Let's talk about why you did what you did so we can try to do that. But yeah, it does fall on the parents, because you know what? If my kids can't come to me, I'm not doing something right. Because see, this girl is dead. Ain't no forget that, and I'm sorry, it kind of
No,
hit
don't be
me.
sorry. You're right.
I'm a little emotional about it because you know what? This girl is dead. Ain't no, okay, we just gonna look at her as a problem. No, we gotta look at the parents too. Because I'm gonna tell you, it's a root problem to that. Because obviously this girl felt that she couldn't come at 10 years old, couldn't come to her parents, so she committed suicide. This girl is dead from being bullied. One thing I always try to do is to be able to have an open dialogue with my kids. I might not agree with what you do, and I might not agree with what your other parent does, and eventually you're going to do what I say do. But I'm going to make sure you understand why I'm telling you to do this. I'm going to make sure I see your viewpoint and give you your point and let you be able to talk to me. And if you mess up, yeah, I'm going to jump in your butt. But at the same time, I'm going to make sure you understand why. But it is the parents' responsibility to know what their kids do. That's why you got so many parents burying their kids out here gang banging, selling dope, doing stuff, because you're turning a deaf eye. If your kids ain't got no job, but they driving a Lexus and have brand new shoes on every day, something wrong. But we want to be blind to that. And then the first thing we do is get up in the funeral and lie and say, my baby boy was a good boy. He went to school, boy. He was a gang banging, dope selling idiot that got shot. We got to stop sugarcoating this mess and stop sugarcoating our kids. We're the parents. We're the adults. We're the authority figure. We got to stop being punks and stop, man.
You're right. Keep
Go ahead.
going. You're good.
We got to stop being punks. These parents got to stop being scared. You got a responsibility to know your kid and be insight with your kid. You got too many parents fighting each other that they can't see the problem of bullying or stuff going on in school. So then when something happens, they want to do is point the finger. Think about come on, man. Especially what bullying does to people. Bullying.
Right, as an adult.
Come on.
So it's worse for a kid because they don't even know how to process it. They don't know if I retaliate, what's gonna happen. The kid's gonna laugh at me. I'm gonna get beat up again. There's nobody to help me. I'm going to school. The teacher is looking right at this situation that's going on, but I'm getting yelled at and have to go to the end of the line because somebody else is hitting me in my head. That kind of stuff. It really has to stop. And you're absolutely right, Corey. You're absolutely right. There's nothing for you to apologize for.
I mean, think about that. I was bullied, and I fought for people. A lot of times, people scared. I'll tell you a funny story about bullying, and this is a true story. It's a funny story, but it ain't funny. When I was at Finger High School, the love of my life, the one I'm with right now, she had a cousin. And her cousin name was Candyman. He was folks. He was straight up. I wasn't. I was a square. I wasn't out there, nothing. He was. He walked up in a lunchroom with me with all his folks and snatched my fries off my plate. Now, what am I going to do? Did I think one-on-one I could whoop him? Probably could. But 20-on-1, no, I'm going to lose. So I know what it is to be bullied. What did I have to do? I have to watch this man eat my fries. And nothing I can do about it. Because what am I going to do? Am I going to tell somebody he stole my fries and I got to go home, walk from 112th and Wallace all the way to 118th and Emerald by myself? When you had two sets of folks in Ragtown and one on 119th? What am I going to really do? Think about that. We don't think about bullying. We don't think about, he's a whole nother guy today. I know him today, dude. He's an awesome guy today. But we don't think about that. That's why you got a lot of these kids grow up to be cops. They grow up to be something, or they become ruthless because they've been taken advantage of their whole life and they're tired of being bullied. That's why they bully other people. Things happen. And I'm telling you, a lot of people that's bullying being bullied at home. They being bullied at home.
Yeah, the bullied at home is the hardest thing, I think, because I actually recently was at a restaurant, and this young lady was at the restaurant with her child and another guy. I don't know if the guy was the kid's dad or whatever, but it was like 9 o'clock at night, and the kid is whining and crying, and she's steadily yelling at the kid, and I'm getting so irritated by her yelling at this child. I'm like, it's after 9 o'clock, the baby's sleepy. That's why I can't take you nowhere, because you always ruin the night. Are you gonna tell your child, your baby child, like she had to be less than 5? You gonna tell your baby child you always ruin the night, you always ruin everything? Who says that to their kid?
Come on.
People do this all day, every day. People curse their kids out, call their kids stupid, call them dumb, call them idiots, morons, whatever. They just talk to their kids crazy. And that's insane. And that hurts my heart when I see that.
Always.
And these are strangers. These are strangers, people I don't know.
Always hollering at the kids.
Or they let someone else mistreat their child.
Come on. Don't want to get up.
Yeah.
Don't want to do nothing. Always want to holler at them. Mm-hmm. What are you, stupid? You didn't know that? No, they don't know that. That's why you're a parent. That's why you're the parent. Kid go run off and you got to go find the kid and you want to beat the kid. You the one supposed to be beating, not the kid. The kid been a kid. Kid run off because the kid been a kid. Where was you at watching it? I get tired of these lazy, fat, stinking parents that want to sit on their butt while their kids run crazy, and then when their kids get into something, be the first one on 911 talking about, I don't know what happened. Yeah, you know what happened. I was driving down 112th in State, and I was behind this bus. This kid's mother is right there on the corner. She's standing right there on the corner telling this boy to run across the street to go get some candy. Okay. The boy thought she said go. He take off and a bus run him over. A bus run him over. Run his leg over, run him over. He over there crying. She going off. And so I jump out the car right away. Police come right away. And she's like, this bee hit my kids. And I jumped in there and immediately I said, officer, I was right behind the bus. The bus driver crying. It was not her fault. If you're going to arrest anybody, arrest his mama, because his mama was standing right there on the corner and told him to run. She had no way of stopping. The only reason why I didn't hit him because the bus was in front of me. Wow. The kid dotted out in the street. Then on my mom's block on 61 in Sacramento, I almost got into a fight with a Latin family because they had a 1-year-old boy, 2-year-old boy standing in the street when the street lights are out. He's standing right there. Lucky I was going slow. And my lights hit his eyes. And I realized that here is a little boy standing here in the dark. Mm-hmm. And I got traffic stopped going off like I could have ran your son over. Oh, don't worry about it. I take care of my kids. Oh, what, you gonna take your kids now? This is sad, man. I see it on a regular basis. These parents want to beat these kids for you being lazy. Get off your hind butt and do something. Be something. Do something. Man, this got me charged this morning. I'm sorry. This got me upset.
It's very upsetting. It's very upsetting.
10-year-old baby,
little kids walking down the street at nighttime by themselves. Like, where are your parents? Or running across the street, going to the store, the grocery store. Where are your parents? Like, I never let my kids go like that by themselves. It's for them, but they're not finna walk to the store by themselves. I
got a 9-year-old son. This girl's 10. I got a 9-year-old son. Even though me and his mom don't get together, he's a happy 9-year-old boy. He got a dad that love him, a mom that love him, and an auntie that love him, and a family love him. He's a happy boy. I couldn't imagine him, especially his last hours. I'm sorry, that's giving me a little emotion, but his last hour on earth, his last hour, her last hour. Could you imagine what's going through her mind? This tiny-year-old, 10-year-old made up in her mind that I'm about to take my life. I know what it is to be in a room with a gun and a Bible. To think about not being here, not fighting. And I was a grown man. I know what it is to feel like I was abused by people, been put down, belittled, and people don't, feel like my life would be better if I wasn't here. At least my kids would get insurance money. And they can live their lives not understanding that I'll be hurting them and hurting myself, but hurting my family. Could you imagine that last hour of this baby girl who just got it in her mind that I got to kill myself? Come on, especially if you got kids, especially if you got a daughter, 10-year-old. What? Wow, man.
I can't imagine. You guys can give us a call. The number 708-223-8953. Again, the number 708-223-8953. Give us a call. Give us your input. Let us know what you're thinking about this whole situation.
Okay.
And we're going to go into the show.
Let's go into the show, man, because, you know, April about to get knocked out right now.
I didn't, what? No, April not.
I got to
April not.
knock somebody out.
No.
Now,
maybe you can knock Earl out.
Let's talk about, probably so, yo big. Let's talk about great people. Let's talk about Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson, considered the greatest entertainer in the world. You know, everybody know a Michael Jackson record. Thriller, the greatest selling album all time. I had a black Michael Jackson jacket with all the zippers and the gloves and the curl. That's why I got no hair today. Woo, hee. Was Michael Jackson born to be Michael Jackson, or did Michael Jackson become Michael Jackson through hard work and dedication? April, you first. What you think?
I think both. I think that you're born. God created you for a purpose. And he puts desires in your heart, and you have your desires in your heart, you know, of things that you want to do and things that you want to become. But in order to become those, you have to take the steps for it to happen. If you don't take the steps for it to happen, it's never going to happen. Michael Jackson had a desire to sing and dance, like his whole family. That's what they did. They sang and danced. They could have been on 2300 Jackson Street wanting to sing and dance, but never put themselves out there in the public. Joe Jackson could have never brought his kids to whatever talent search or any of that. And they could have just been the Jackson family. They could have been doctors and lawyers and whatever else that could just happen to sing and happen to dance, going to karaoke. You know, it could have been like that. But they worked hard. They were determined to make their dreams happen. Unfortunately, I do think their father was a bully. He did bully them. But that was his method to, you know, make them stronger and
they became one of the greatest family.
They were great.
If that's bullying, beat me to fame.
No. Because what they had in them, they had without all that. But that was his thing.
He pushed them.
He pushed them, but it wasn't healthy.
Okay.
I don't think that they would have become the things that they became without him doing what he did to them.
And you know what? They get some therapy. They rich and they famous. Sometimes
I think you do have to push people. It's important to push and encourage in a positive manner. It's important to do that. Because
see, you got to think about that. They was focused, and he got them out. I mean, they got out. They seen the world, you know, greatest entertainers. And sometimes, you know, because you think about the army. You're in an army, you're regimented, you got to follow orders. And sometimes some people need strong discipline to get where they're going to get to, because they were focused. They were worried about what he was going to do. And a lot of times, you know, a lot of fathers back then made people do that. They made them get tough and then when they got on stage, it was natural. But let's talk about now. My point is, I believe that people are born. That's my view, because you got to think about something. Michael Jackson's father didn't want Michael Jackson. They were originally the Jackson 4. They were originally the Jackson 4. The lead singer was Jermaine. You had Jermaine, Tito, I think Randy, and Jackie. They did not want. Michael said, "Can I be in it?" They didn't want him. His dad and his mom said, "Sit down. You too young. You can't do it." It was a teacher in Michael's school where Michael asked her, "Can I sing in a talent show? Right. Can I sing in a talent show?" Now, you think about something. You got all the family there, and Joe Jackson don't know what to expect. He's sitting there like, wait a minute. They've been practicing. These my boys.
Mm-hmm.
Michael just a little baby. Come on.
Just get on out of here, boy. Go sit down.
But
Okay,
Michael got up there and sang a solo. And Joe like, wait a minute. Because you remember, Joe played with a band.
My boy. Come on, my boy.
Joe played with a band. And his mom sang. Captain Jackson sang. So they all had talent. But Michael blew it. Now, could you imagine your son, who you didn't know had this talent, you didn't know, and your son singing a solo in front of all these people, you don't know? Because see, one thing, if we putting our kids out there, let me see what you got. So, just in case somebody laugh at you, I can come like, come on, baby, it's all right, baby, come on. But you didn't know it. But for everybody to be like, wow. Mm-hmm. And according to Jackie, his mama said the Jackson 4 just became the Jackson 5.
All right. So, come on, Miss Jackson.
Now, Mike was born that. Mike was born to do that.
Yes.
Now, Barry Gordy did not like kid acts, especially after signing Stevie Wonder, had to go through all the lawyers. He didn't want no kid act. He told Susan in the past, I don't want no more kids. No more kids. She said, just take a look at him. Mike's and the audition tape is on YouTube. Mike did James Brown just as good as James Brown is saying, baby, baby, baby. He was born to be that great. Those are things now. So when somebody say the next Michael Jackson, is it possible that somebody be the next Michael Jackson?
No, they're gonna have to be them. It's none like him. He's the original. He's the blueprint. That's it. God created him, and then he tore it up. That was it. No more mics.
Okay.
No more mics.
It was said that James Brown was the greatest man in show business. James Brown was the Michael Jackson of his day. Remember, James Brown, mama didn't want him dancing. James Brown was a boxer. He was so fast. Mm-hmm. Well, he was a boxer, but he started to dance. James Brown had such control over his body that he could move the bottom of his body while his top was still. His mama said he was dancing for money, so to feed the family. Mm-hmm. What people say, ain't gonna be no another James Brown, but here come Michael.
Michael was Michael. James was James.
Was James created? So, and this is my question to you, April. Did they have to practice to be that good? Or was that just a God-given talent?
It's a God-given talent, but it has to be developed. It has to be developed. If you, I guess I could use the example of tying your shoe when you're little and you don't know how to tie your shoe. You have to keep tying it, keep tying it, keep tying it in order to perfect that tying your shoe. So if you have the gift to dance, but you never dance, your ability is not going to develop. So I still contend that, yes, you're born with it, but it still has to be developed. You still have to work at it. It's not just going to drop out the sky and happen for you. You have to put yourself in position. Okay, take me. If I never came to you for this position, I wouldn't be here talking to you, right? You'd just be like, dang, she never called me back. You'll still be here talking by yourself.
Well, I actually came to you for the position.
Right. I said I wouldn't be here if I didn't respond to you, though.
I seen your talent the day I met you.
Right. But what if I didn't respond to you?
You're going to respond to me. You better go on, punk. You're going to respond to me.
Well, that's my thing. You have to develop it. You have to walk into it. You have to step out into it and say, okay, this is what I want to do. And you have to let nothing stop you.
Okay. I knew you, like, I have a God-gift talent for talking.
Yes, you do.
And, this intellectual radio has really practiced doing it every day, doing it all the days I do it, has really allowed me to blossom as a radio. Like what was here allowed it to do it. Like your talent is just not natural. You touch people, you reach people, you got an ability to talk. You can talk as much as I can or even more. But
thank you.
And I knew that. But when people say, okay, look at your talent, you don't think Earl knew when I sat down here after I did my first show that I had talent? He knew, because if you ever look at what the owner does, he cultivates us.
Right.
See, we get a lot of coaching outside of the radio that you don't see about saying, about studying, about over talking over people. We get a lot of coaching. So I am getting better as I go, getting better constantly. You know, even executive producer Wanda Balter, you're getting better constantly. So, you know, but you have to have something there. Because I know a lot of non-talented singers who always want to do a solo. Always want to grab a microphone in church and yeah, and all. Come on, man, listen. I was at a funeral. True story. We were so sad that my friend Jason died. Great young man, one of my best friends. He had a family member doing a solo. And when she started to sing, the crying began to be laughter.
Ooh.
Like, are you for real? And she swept it down. She was singing, y'all put y'all hands in the air. I'm like, oh, stop it. Stop it. No, don't do it. You know, so.
Was he a comedic person? The guy, Jason?
No, he was a great guy, but it's just that.
I mean, he could have been great, but
that
he
lady
just like
she thought she could sing.
Okay.
So, you know, now there are people that can take singing lessons and get better. Ooh,
I need singing lessons, y'all.
me, my, mo, mom.
It's called developing your gift.
Yes, but then you got Luther Vandrosses and
yes.
you got Marvin Gaye, you got Donny Hathaway.
Mm-hmm.
You got to think of
Bell.
Stevie Wonder.
Yes.
Stevie Wonder
Jill
wanted
Scott.
a deal so bad with Motown that his mother used to sit him down by the gates of Motown and let him just sit there and sing. Just so happened one day, Barry Gordy walked past and hear Stevie Wonder singing. Who this? You know, bring him on up in here. Again, some people are born with talent. I don't think that you can cultivate something it's not there. I don't think hard work, I don't think dedication is going to put something there that's not there. I don't think we can sit behind the microphones and do what we do if we didn't have the ability to talk or ability to raise people's consciousness and level. I honestly believe that these people are born. Muhammad Ali, yes, he practiced boxing constantly, but Muhammad Ali knew what he had in him.
He was born to do what he does.
He talked mess and whoop a man.
Mm-hmm.
He can tell you, you know, and that was the thing that made Muhammad Ali great. Muhammad Ali tell you, I'm going to knock you out.
Yeah.
I'm going to whoop you. Everybody know the Thriller in Manila. Everybody on the planet, except for one person that fought both of them. It was Joe Frazier. Joe Frazier fought Muhammad Ali and he fought George Foreman. And George Foreman annihilated him. He busted his head like boom. And everybody thought Ali was going to get killed. But just like George Foreman said, not George Foreman, but Joe Frazier said he got 2 fists, don't he? He can still defend himself and fight. He can fight. He can win. So you got to have something there. Because if you don't have talent there, you know, I don't care, all the athletic ability, it makes no difference. What you think?
I think, I don't know. I believe that you could be right. I don't want to say that you're not right. I don't want to say that you're wrong because there's no way for me to distinguish that. Some people say things could be developed. I think that sometimes it may not be that particular talent that you have, but it may be a different talent. So I think about Pete Diddy. He's very smart and he was able to get into the industry. He's not like the greatest rapper or anything like that, but he found a different way to come into the industry and he, you know, get on some of his artists' music and stuff like that. So he don't have that particular gift as far as being a rapper, where he just, you know, attracts the masses for that talent that he has, but he does it a different way. So that's why I say you could, that's possible. It could be right because a lot of people think that you could go if you're tone deaf or, you know, you don't have the ability to sing. that's, happy to somebody's ear.
Now,
You go and you get singing lessons, and that can help you along. But if you don't have that ability, you don't have that strength, your vocals are not set up that way, it's not going to happen for you. Maybe not. I don't want to tell people stuff don't happen for them, but yeah.
Now, if you was gonna make a sandwich with ability and success, what would be the meat in between that? I got a sandwich. I got 2 slices of bread. One slice of bread is called ability and talent, and the other slice of bread is called success.
Okay.
What is the meat in between that bread?
God.
Yes, but what meat can you put in between that bread?
Your desire, your drive, your energy, your the way that how much you want it. How much are you willing to get into it? Your perseverance in that talent or that gift. You have to be able to work.
What's up with all these hats?
It's the same hat. I like my hat.
She got about 400 hats.
I think, you know what? I understand, Corey. You just be like, this is my girl. This is my sister. I love her so much. I have to say something crazy to her about her wardrobe, about her hair, just anything.
She got more hats than Macy's. Oh my God. Okay. Let me answer that question.
I think we should go hat shopping since you like my hat.
Yeah, okay. Put mine
Maybe you need a hat.
I tell you what, put them on layaway and tell them I'll come pick them up
later.
No,
we're not doing layaway.
Hated it.
You're just going to buy it.
Whatever. Here, I'm going to answer that question. What has to be between talent and ability and success? The meat you have to use is passion. Mm-hmm. You got to have passion for what you do. Let's take comparison, Luther Vandross singing to Prince singing. Okay, Luther Vandross is outright a greater singer than Prince. But Prince is a greater performer. But here's the thing that Luther and Prince learned to do. And this is something that I think new artists don't get. Luther and Prince knew how to sing songs that is right for their voice and their ability. Mm-hmm. See, we all have ability, but sometimes our ability can be better suited in a certain way. So a lot of times we're trying to sing. Like I think Jaheim is a brilliant singer. I watch him hit some Luther, but I think he sings the wrong songs for his voice. He's a baritone, like Christopher Williams and Teddy P. We look at Teddy Pendergrass. Teddy P sung the songs that were right for his voice, just like Fantasia. The reason why I love Fantasia is Fantasia better singing than Patti LaBelle? No. But Fantasia sings the songs that is great for her voice. Somebody asked me a while back, who is the greatest singing female group of yours? And mine was the Pointer Sisters. And the reason why I love the Pointer Sisters from all the hits they had, even in the movie Car Wash, is because all of them sing to their strength and they sung the songs that was right for their voice. So a lot of times you have artists who talented that don't have the right songs. Shirley Murdoch, a brilliant singer. Just like what's her name? She played in the original Dreamgirls. She was on there with Jennifer Hudson. I can't think of her name. She's got a great voice, amazing voice. They sing the right songs. So, how important is it that your talent fits your passion, but your talent and passion fits what's good for you?
I think that's very important. I think it's detrimental to your success.
Okay. Is there a wrong poem you could do?
A wrong poem? I think a wrong poem would be something that I wasn't passionate about, something that I wasn't particularly interested in. So something that didn't catch my interest, I'm not going to memorize it. I'm not going to deliver it the way maybe it should be delivered to an audience if I'm not I'm not interested in the subject.
Mary J. Blige. I know you heard her new album.
I haven't. But
That
anyway.
some of the new songs, you a special place for you in hell.
Oh yes, I did hear that.
Is that talent or is that pain and passion?
It's both. It's both. That's what was in her at the time to share. You know, that's something that she was going through. So that's what she shared. Artists typically share what they know about. You know, I can only share what I know about. I can only share what I can identify with, stuff that matters to me. You know.
You know, I love Mary J. Blige because Mary J. Blige is the most passionate singer I ever heard. You know, that song, No More Drama, I played that for a whole more summer. No more. She had that dun, 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 that story music in there, No More Drama. And she sings songs that she feel. And, you know, I really honestly think that talent is good, but you got to sing what you feel and it'll sell. You think about that, like Terry McMillan. I think she's a brilliant author. You know, she wrote Waiting to Exhale. You know, that was about her life, but she exhaled and it wasn't right.
Silly.
So you're a great person. You got talent. Do you have to practice or does things come natural? And the reason why I say that, and let me break the analogy down. I'm good on the radio, but I cannot prepare for a show prior most times. Because I believe when I get on the microphone, Holy Spirit takes over and brings out of me what's in me to do. You know, how much can practice alter your natural ability?
I think it could be like overstudying. Like if you studying for a test and you get to that day of that test and you study more and you overstudy, when you get to that test, your mind just go blank. Like it's like you over booted yourself or what I don't know what the word I'm trying to say.
She said over booted
right,
yourself.
like you
yo big.
like you over exaggerated your mind on that particular subject. You overthought it, so now you're blank. You come into these questions that you know, but they're not coming to your remembrance because you overstudied. So I think that's a possibility. If you overdo something, like I know a lot of poets have experience where they're actually performing and they just forget their poem, and this is a poem that you wrote on your own. Is your poem. If you've recited this poem numerous times, but all of a sudden your mind just go blank. So it does happen.
Now let me ask you a question.
And I think performers have done that on stage as well. Singers
get up there and forget the word.
Right.
They better be like James Brown. James Brown didn't remember the word. He just put something in there. Right.
It don't matter because he's not saying nothing anyway. But
right now, I have been a comedian. And sometimes I have been on this radio show and I have zoned. I know being an entertainer, you have zoned. Like there are entertainers, there are people like Michael Jordan said, when I'm in a zone, there is nothing you can do. Nobody can stop me. I can hit as many points as I want to. I seen Kobe Bryant in a zone where Kobe hit 81 points in a game. Will Chamberlain hit 100 points in a game. Michael Jordan, 63, 69 points in the game and 63 points in the game. What makes great people zone? Is it practice or is it God-given talent?
I think that's God-given talent.
Huh?
I think that's God-given talent. And I think it's what's inside of you. I think it's a part of your being, a part of your spiritual man, which is, whoever you believe in. I think that's how people go into a zone. I think it's part of the supernatural being inside of you.
Okay, so when you zone on stage, what did it feel like? What came over you?
I don't know if I ever zoned on stage yet. I don't think that's happened to me yet.
You haven't been anywhere. The crowd is just on every word you say. You just I feel that my intellect is my
yeah. I mean, I've had that, but I guess maybe it's just the way that I am as an artist, I don't really have this big head about the whole thing. I just try to deliver what I'm trying to deliver, and you know, that's it. I mean, I don't know.
I have zone. I remember telling jokes where I had the people laughing so hard that I could make a face like, and people just laugh and laugh. Or I've been on the show where I ask something and it makes somebody just go emotional, and then boom, it just takes
Yes.
over, and I'm in a whole nother level, minister
Mhm.
mode. Now, you know, how people call it beast mode.
Yeah.
You know,
It's
what
a part of
makes
your spiritual
right.
being.
I mean, you know, now Michael Jordan had a philosophy. He said that he practiced harder than he plays. So when he's seen every scenario in practice, when he actually in the game, it's easy because he's already practiced. So my question to you is hard work and practice gonna ever get you to the point of zoning? Or is it that something that deep in you that God already gave you, predestined you with, that's gonna allow you to zone?
I have to say it all works together. It's all a combination. Because if I have a piece that I want to share, but I don't practice that piece, and then I go to an event and I'm a feature, you're gonna automatically, there's always a nervousness when you're performing in front of a crowd or in front of a person that you know you want to please this person. So if I don't practice that piece, I may forget what the piece is.
You know,
So
you know,
I think it's a combination.
the first spoken word artist I ever had on my show, Zone. The first one I ever had on my show is a fellow figure type, you know, Tanisha,
Hmm.
Black Butterfly
Black butterfly,
Jackson.
beautiful butterfly.
She zoned. When I tell you, broke down in tears and gave her piece, I had over 2,000 people hit, was online. The hearts could not stop.
Nice.
I had people in here like, wow. That, and it made me think like, okay, because see, as entertainers, how can people believe what you don't believe?
Right.
How many people can say, "Wow, I feel emotionally to you"?
Hmm.
You know, you know, when you look at Michael Jackson, people would be falling. They used to fall out on Michael, or Michael Jordan when he about to hit that last basket. Everybody know he gonna get the hand, and the minute he get the hand, everybody like.
Right.
And then when he get up and shoot the ball and they go in, everybody going crazy. So
I wonder if when Michael Jordan used to play, if he ever heard "All Eyes on Me" in his head, like "All eyes on me" while he going down the court, and then he's shooting the ball, he dunking, he doing that. That's what I hear.
or like Kobe, knowing that I'm gonna hit. See, and then you know he always Michael Jordan. See, and then another thing is when you are great, how important it is to find a challenge. 'Cause Michael Jordan always said when you got nothing. When he first retired, when his dad got killed, he said when I have nothing to prove as a basketball player, I think it's stop away. Anybody can leave when they're going bad, but I left on top. How important is it to have a challenge when you're great?
It's very important because you always want to better yourself and better your gift. So you always want to grow and develop. That's very important to challenge yourself as an individual.
You know, I have looked at some really great people in life. And you know, when I look at people like Malcolm X, E.B. Du Bois, James Baldwin, I look at Michael Jackson, I look at Oprah Winfrey. You know, I look at things that way because Oprah was relentless. Now, there are some people who work hard to be great people. You know, now let's go to this half. Let's go to the people that work great. You know, Bruce Lee said that I don't fear a man that practiced 10,000 kicks. I fear a man that practiced one kick 10,000 times. What do you think Bruce was talking about when he said that?
That you perfected that one particular area of expertise. You know, you might have a high kick that's not going to be that strong. But that one kick that you practice 10,000 times, that kick is going to be like, oh my God, I'm about to die. So.
Because see, we hear the term all the time, jack of all trades, master of none.
Yes.
And see, what he was saying was, you ever seen the movie Into the Dragon, who talked to his master at the beginning?
Have I ever?
And he said that if he expands, I contract. When he contracts, I expand. When an opportunity presents itself, I don't hit. It hits all by itself. And that's because he didn't practice that move so much that it is. And a lot of times in life, we want to do so many things in life. Because see, a lot of things that I always say, that your results will show you what you're good at. That's what God gave you to do. I honestly believe that the Bible says He knew us from the foundation of the world, that He knew what we were going to be before we started to do it. When I was a kid, I talked a lot. People said that, you talk too much. You always got something to say. And I did. I always got something to say. I'm always in something. I'm always talking. But, now it's part of my life. It's who I am. It's what I do. And when you look at that, how many times you practice what you do? Have you ever narrowed down in your life what it is that you do well or you do good above everything else? What would that be?
I would say probably for me, it is all in sync with writing. That's Everything is all in sync with that. Because my writing is the poetry, the music, the books. This is something that's totally new to me, and I think I'm great at it, and I really, really love it. And I know that I love it because I will get here a freaking hour early and go down the street to Dunkin' Donuts and chill till it's 15 minutes before the show. So I know that this is something that I love. So I know that this is something that is meant for me to do. And it's only gonna get better and grow. So
I think I'm a great inventor. I think I am going to be soon a best-selling author, a great businessman. I think I'm very talented in a lot of areas, but what I do better than anything is speak. Mm-hmm. That is what I've made a living off most of my life, either being in 911, customer service, call centers, is what I do well. Radio is something that I do well. You put on radio, TV, wherever, you can put me on the spot to speak. I can speak for 2 hours off the top of my head. It's just something that I know that is what I am good at all the time. I can always, and I'm quick with it when it comes to things. I can come back, play the dozens in a minute. My man Spook watching, what's up, baby boy? Finger Titan, woo! and see, I practice that. I got working on a new CD. When I'm gonna do this CD, Know Yourself. I'm gonna be setting that up soon. And what I do is that I know what I do well, accept it and perfect it. I know people can't talk. I know people watch these shows and they be like, dude, you talk for 2 hours like it ain't nothing. I can talk for 4 hours, it ain't nothing. You give me a 4-hour show and I can talk for 4 hours every single day. It don't bother me. This is what I love to do. And I'm not getting up it because I've been on radio shows where people gotta find something to talk about. They gotta go long and, well, what should I do? Maybe if I put butter on my chicken, it might be good. Hated it. Let's talk about some issues. And that is good because, see, we got to know what God has given us and equipped us with in order for us to be great. Michael knew he could sing. Michael knew he could dance. Michael knew he was a great entertainer like James Brown. Michael Jordan loved basketball, but Michael knew he had ability. But Michael was passion for the game, love for the game, but what he had was sheer 100-carat competitiveness. See, you got to want to compete. I said all the time on the show, And on this station, I am not going to be satisfied until I'm the best, till I got the most watchers, till I got it. Because you know why? I'm shooting for something. I don't want to be good at what God gave me. I want to be extraordinary in it. But again, I'm not a doctor, so I ain't going to try to operate on nobody. I'm not a mechanic, so don't ask me to fix your car. I love to cook, but my name ain't Chef Boy Corey. You know, so that's not some things, but talking is what I do well. Let me ask you a question.
Before you ask the question, I just wanted to say that, like, being here, I wasn't always a person that was outspoken. Okay. I'm a lot more outspoken than I was before. I was like more, meek, I guess that's the word I would use. So I didn't use my voice like I do now. So being here, it gives me a different platform because I am someone who is a giver. I love people. I like to be encouraging and stuff like that. So this helps me to do what I think I'm meant to do, which is, be a person to give a lot of life and share a lot of different things with the world and be intricate and being peaceful and a blessing to a lot of different people in a lot of different ways. So I think this is where this is going to go with this platform that I have. And I think it's going to make a big difference in my life and where I'm going to go, where God has for me. So
April the agent, do you have the it factor?
of course I do. I think
Wow.
everybody has the it factor. I think that everybody has to find what that it factor is and develop it. Once you figure out what your purpose is, you can grow it. Once you figure out what an issue is, you can fix it, But if you don't dig deep and try to find it, you're not going to find it. Everyone has the it factor. Everyone who made it out of those thousands and billions and millions of sperm has the it factor. Because you made it here. You could have not been here.
When you give me a head like this sperm,
What? Sperm is funny to you?
No, because
you wore a little string one time, even though you got a big head.
She say something, just buzz out sperm. Come on. No, what I mean by the it factor is when you look at superstars, you look at Michael Jordan, you look at all these great people, even Dennis Rodman, they have a aura about themselves. They have do you walk into places and people say, this must be somebody? Do you have that star celebrity it factor quality?
I do. And wow. I think I didn't notice it. I didn't notice it before. I didn't embrace it before. Because I think a lot of times when I walk in the room is lit up. It's different. People look at me a certain way and I would be like, what the heck? And I didn't understand what it was.
Don't be acting like you look
no,
all
I'm
like
just,
that.
I'm just saying, you like, why, you laugh. Like when I was younger, one of my younger cousins, she, commented on it. I didn't understand it then. I was just like, I don't know, just, whatever. I'm not a boastful person or a person that's bragging or anything like that. I'm just saying that a lot of times we have something that we don't know that we have. We have to tap into it and develop it.
You know what? I feel that way too. When I went with my man Tony Branch to Michigan for that women's conference, and the ambassador Clyde Rivers, he spoke to me, allowed me to interview him and speak. And people were looking. These are some of them millionaires, some of them are running for presidents for other countries. All these mega bucks in this place, and a lot of them was looking at me like, "Who is this guy? Who is this guy? This guy got to be." So he leathered out. He got to be somebody. Even he's somebody important. He Eddie Murphy with all the leather on. So, and when I got there, Dr. Branch was saying, well, this person, that person, this person, that person. And I'm like, okay, I feel what you're saying, even though personally I'm not impressed, because the only difference between them and me is the opportunities. I'm just as great as anybody. I'm hungry. You give me the opportunity, I'm going to shine. You give me the microphone, I'm going to shine. You put me on anybody's stage with anybody, I'm going to shine. I remember one day, they were saying it was at a conference, and they said that maybe you might get a chance to speak at this conference, maybe not. But Marvin Sapp was going to be on this conference. Would you feel inferior speaking on the same program as Marvin Sapp? And I'm like, well, no, I can't sing like Marvin Sapp, but I'll preach him under the table. That's how I felt, even if I could or not, because I don't care who anybody is. What God has given me is good enough. The Bible said your gifts that he's given you will make room for you and great men. See, we have gotten starstruck by people's opportunities.
Right. They're just people.
What make you greater than me? Not your ability, but your opportunity. See, one thing I love, and my favorite show right now is Shark Tank. Shark Tank is my favorite show on TV because Shark Tank makes millionaires immediately because you're there to pitch your deal. And Shark Tank concept understands that these people are just great as the people that's going to pick you for a deal. They just need the opportunity to be great. And I tell anybody, I'm not worried about playing the game. Just get me in the game. My ability will take over from the game from playing. I'll make the shots. It don't matter because Michael Jordan said I missed over 425 shots, game-winning shots. But don't nobody remember the shots you miss. They only remember the shots you hit because the shots you hit bring championship. Mm-hmm. So
what happens too when you have that light? I say this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. You have to let your light shine. You're gonna have a lot of haters. You're gonna have a lot of people that are jealous because they see it, and a lot of times you don't see it. You don't know why they don't like you. You don't know why they're so mad at you because they want what you have, and instead of them, embracing you, they dislike you for it.
And
they don't understand that they have to be their own self and find their own it factor.
Now, what about people that try to steal your thunder?
Those are haters.
That want to take responsibility for your talent.
They try to take responsibility for it. They try to put you down or try to make themselves seem bigger than they are to make themselves feel like a better person or like they're doing something more than what you're doing instead of just being themselves.
And see, I'm one of those people that never let anybody take credit for my ability. You can help me with an opportunity, but you'll never take credit for something that God gave me.
That's right.
See, a lot of times people want to get to the point, like me, I am in love with Oprah Winfrey. Oprah Winfrey is my shero. I love me some Oprah Winfrey. But if Oprah Winfrey wanted to help me or wanted to book, I would let her and be thankful for it. But I would never say it's because of Oprah Winfrey I'm here. I would be like, it's because of God I'm here. And that's why I said in the beginning of the show that I never take credit. And not that I'm being modest or not that I don't want, and I'm not appreciative of your appreciative towards me. It's just that there is nothing that I've ever done that anything for anybody that is something that Corey Wright did. Everything, including my breathing, is from God. And if we will get blessed so much in life, if we start to give God his glory that he deserves. That's why I honestly think a lot of great entertainers and great people with great ability don't make it because God knows that he cannot trust them with their glory. Everybody want to do the big eyes you. When I bless somebody, nobody sees it. Because the Bible says what you do in private, God will bless you with openly. And the reason why he does that, because he wants to see if you'll do what's right, even if you don't get the glory behind it. That's why you speak about people in prayers. They stand in synagogues and get these long prayers and Lord and all that. He said they got their glory. They got their reward because they're doing that. So that's why I like people to help me, and I pray that people do, but don't ever try to take my glory. Because some people look at your ability, and that's why you look at some people, they get into these deals. Like you think about New Edition. New Edition is the quintessential thought of people taking advantage of them. How in the world, and when I watched that New Edition story, my mouth dropped. How in the world they're going to have a #1 album in the country? They are selling out arenas. They got millions and billions of fans, and they're still living in the projects. Could you imagine what that did to your psyche? You are pulling up back up to a project after a world tour. And that's because that manager took advantage of them.
Mhm.
He signed them and he was making all type of money off them. When you look at people got you bound up. You guys remember Sparkle made that song with R. Kelly, You Better Be Careful. What happened? That young girl that R. Kelly was accused of sleeping with was her niece. And what happened? Because she would not stop it or wouldn't lie for R. Kelly locked up. He got her locked up where she can't make another album. You know, Carl Thomas, amazing singer. You remember
I
Carl
love
Thomas?
Carl Thomas. I say he was my future husband.
That guy was amazing. But what happened? He signed a terrible deal that he couldn't get out.
Wow.
And they made googlobs of money off of Carl Thomas. And he like, no, you're not going to give me a piece of it. I'm not doing no more albums.
Yes.
Tony Braxton. You got Tony Braxton and TLC had to file bankruptcy because this record company made millions on top of millions off them and wasn't paying them nothing. One thing I like about Puff Daddy and Master P, that they were smart enough to own their own business. Puff Daddy got a distribution deal for Bad Boys. He didn't get a record deal. He got a distribution deal. That, okay, he started making more money than Def Jam, where he was able to buy his independence, his own record label. You know, Bad Boys, because he was smart. Just like my movie I love, Almost Christmas. And they asked the little boy, why don't you want to play football with them? He said, no, I want to sit here and study. Is it better to play football or is it better to own the team?
Right.
You know, so again, you got to watch you do it. Let me ask you this question. Your poetry, you know, say for instance, you didn't practice your poetry for 6 months and somebody said, I need you to do a show tonight. Could you do it?
Yes.
Why?
Because my poetry is a part of me and I'm going to remember my pieces. I'm going to take time and study and prepare for that night, but I could definitely do it.
Are you prepared right now with a piece?
I'm always prepared.
Okay. All right. Let's see. Now you didn't practice it.
I'm always practicing.
Okay. I don't. That's good. That's good. Can you give me a piece now?
Sure. Let's see what we do. Don't ask me. It's none of your business. If I told you that I loved you, it's because I did. If I told you that it's over, it's because it is. If I gave you the chance to love me and you couldn't reciprocate and then I walked away, don't get mad and say that I changed. Don't tell me that you love me and try to knock me down. Don't ask about my happiness or the new love that you think that I found. Don't ask about my friends or the people that I know. It's none of your business who I deal with or where I choose to go. Don't ask me. It's none of your business. And please, please stop trying to tell me that you love me when all you want to do is keep me gagged and bound, locked away in your cage where no one else can see your quiet torture and how you damaged me. I guess I let the cat out the bag, so to speak. Me go back to that? I don't think so. No more chains, no more holes, no lies. I've broke out. I'm free, and there's no more disguise. Me go back to that, I messed up. Me go back to that, I think not. Yes, I'm strange, part of a peculiar people, but I'm not at all deranged. I'm not stupid, I'm not crazy, I'm not dumb in the least. I know just what I want and just what I don't. Your quiet torture, it will bury me. It ends my peace. Your quiet torture, it ends peace. And that's that peace.
Wow. Now let me ask you a question behind that. Was that talent or was that practice? Did I get it, y'all? Did I get it? Look at her face.
I guess since I didn't practice it this morning, it was a gift, talent.
Okay. Now, can talent carry you farther than practice? Or can practice carry you farther than talent?
I think they have to be hand in hand. You can't have one without the other and be successful. It's not going to happen. You have to develop. You have to practice. You have to study your craft. You have to work your muscle. So if I want to be a bodybuilder, like I want to practice, I want to Yeah, I want to box train. I tell y'all stuff that I want to do so somebody can call me and say, "Yo, I got the hookup."
How's she gonna box? Look how small her hands. If she gonna hit,
I don't want to be a boxer, but I want to box train. I like the thickness of the boxer's body. So if I want to have muscles like a boxer, then I have to work out. Otherwise, I'm gonna still be have this little muscle when I want a bigger muscle. I want when I do this, I want it to be defined, and it can't get defined if I don't work it. So that's the same thing with your gift and your talent. You have to work that muscle. That's the same thing, with your prayer and connection with your spiritual guide. You have to connect. You have to take the time to pray and talk to him to know what his voice is. So everything has to be developed and everything has to work together, not just one thing working on its own and the other thing working. It all works together. That's just like the body. It all works together. My brain not functioning properly, my heart might not be pumping properly. My organs might not be working properly. So everything works together.
what about Mike Tyson? Is Mike Tyson a freak of nature, or is Mike Tyson a product of good boxing coaching? Because you got to think about it. When Gus D'Amato got Tyson, Tyson was huge. He was a big kid at 40. He was a big dude then. And I watched his training, but he had to have talent there. Because you got to think about all these fighters that he knocked out that look like Frank Bruno or some of them people that look like awesome fighters.
Right.
But what was the define? It had to be hitting ability or ability there and fight.
Well, Mike Tyson, I think, is both, because when you're a fighter, it's not only technique, but it's a gift. It's something that you have. You have to know what that other person is. You have to have that counter move. You know what they're gonna may do next. Or what worked before. So it's gonna take that practice and being in the ring and being hit or whatever. When you say a freak of nature, you made me think about this one UFC fighter. And I was gonna look him up because I can't think of his name right now, but he was amazing. He started out as a street fighter, and he was like a freak of nature where he would hit you so hard your eyeball would pop out. He made somebody's eyeball pop out. They lost their eye. And I
Wow.
can't think his name, but I love
It
him.
wasn't Kimbo Slice.
Kimbo Slice. That's him.
Kimbo
That's
Slice.
him. That is him. Woo! Oh my God.
Well, see, Kimbo Slice was a street fighter as well.
Right. He started out as a street fighter.
Wow.
But he was that. Now that he was a freak of nature, and he kind of reminded me of my cousin, because my cousin is like really big, and he can go ham on somebody. But yes, that was slang, y'all.
I mean, because you got to think about when Mike Tyson got in the ring, the youngest heavyweight champion ever. He was just a brute. Gus D'Amato gave him great techniques to fight. Open up on somebody, but he won most of his fights before they got in the ring. He was so good at psych you out, like Muhammad Ali would psych you out, talk crazy, and then whoop you. Mm-hmm. Mike Tyson said all he needed was to see you quench or move a little bit. He got you. He said there was a lot of people that had a plan to beat me, and they got in the ring and they got hit. Then playing out the window. Oh, I didn't see that coming.
Yeah, and then his strength is like everything.
I mean, you look at ability, like let's take Magic Johnson. Magic Johnson revolutionized the point guard position. You got a 6'9" person. Now, today, you got great people like Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant is a freak of nature to me. A 6'11" guy that can dribble and shoot that way. He was the X factor in the playoffs, because you had no answer for somebody that big and that good that can shoot and play ball. I've never seen that. But Magic Johnson was the first one to come in, and now let's take Kareem. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was an awesome player, but he was a product of hard work. When you look at Kareem had a sky hook. He knew he had a physical ability, but he developed a shot that could nobody stop. Mm-hmm. That he could hit this shot on you no matter what he went way up in the air with the ball way up here, and he got his body and you in between. You can't get to his ball, and he just flicking it in. It was a brilliant shot.
So that was his shot that he practiced 10,000 times. That was his 10,000, the kick that he practiced 10,000 times. That was undeniable and unbeatable.
So now, what do you think about this term, the next somebody? Why do we feel that somebody can be the next somebody opposed to the first somebody?
Right. That's my thing. I'm like, I would just say the greatest, or you know what I'm saying, something. I don't agree with that, saying that somebody's going to be the next somebody, because they're going to be their own individual self. So,
well, is greatness evolution from one player to the next player? Because let's go
the
ahead.
only way I think that it could be evolution is if it was a family member, like the football player that his two sons is now in football, and they're great quarterbacks or whatever. That's the only way I see it being an evolution thing, But
okay, let's take entertainment. Okay, when you had Chuck Berry,
maybe I shouldn't say that.
Right? Because you had a lot of great dancers.
Because they feed off of that person. That
Right.
person was their idol or whatever. That's who they looked up to. You listen to certain music, like different musicians and artists and writers. There's certain people that they admire to get to where they are. So yes, definitely evolution.
Because people said couldn't nobody dance like Sammy Davis Jr.
Right.
Sammy Davis Jr. the first one to do the camel walk. He did the camel walk. He was jamming. He was bad. But then James Brown came and just took it to a whole nother level.
That footwork.
James Brown.
That footwork was the stuff.
When he was on that show, Tamar, some show, Braxton show, whatever, when he did the Out of Sight, he was like, wow. He got down and he just brought down the house. It's still awesome. Now, everybody say it would never be a James Brown. Then here come Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson moonwalked on Motown 25. Everybody was watching. They say almost 50 to 100 million households was watching it. He moonwalked on national TV because if you remember the movie, he didn't want to do it. He wanted to send an audience. And Barry Gordon told him, he said, listen, you might think you big now, but if you do a show like this the right way, you'll be a big. And what did Michael say? Okay, you want me to sing with my brothers? You want me to sing with them? I will, but I want a solo spot. He knew I want a solo. Yeah.
If I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it all the way.
Right. I'll do it them. Hey, then stop the world. You love me, had them on, whatever. Darling, I do that. He did all that, but then
Antoinette, your man over here dancing.
So he like soon as that. Now y'all get off stage, that. And what he say? I like the old songs, but I also like the new.
Hey.
He killed that. He killed that.
Yeah.
Come on.
I love Mike.
And when you look at that, but then people say, well, I'm gonna be another, James Brown. Mike took it to a whole another level.
He did, and he is like iconic. Absolutely legendary. Like, it's kids that are younger than me, younger than you, that love Michael Jackson. My nephew loves Michael Jackson. He had like all his we had his CDs and all the little movies and videos of Michael Jackson, and he'd sit there and watch it and watch it and watch it and watch it. Do the dances. My uncle, the one that was killed, he loved Michael Jackson, and did all the dances and everything. Yes. I love Michael Jackson. So, I mean, he is on a totally different platform with everything. Like, if Michael Jackson was doing something, everybody was waiting for it, and everybody was sitting there watching it. Thriller, when he released that was like the first ever video, was like a whole movie video or whatever. So he just took everything to a whole nother level, and I like the fact that he did it. And when he said, okay, I'm gonna do it, he went all the way in, no holds barred, and that's a beautiful thing.
And then see with the guitar, Chuck Berry was one of the greatest guitar players in the world.
I thought you was gonna say Jimi Hendrix.
And he would do, and he'd dance, do the little duck walk, do. He was awesome. But Jimi Hendrix came. And Jimi Hendrix took it to now. What was another guy? What's the guy name? Who did Tin Pan Alley? I can't think his name is. He's a guitar player, bad guitar player. He did Tin Pan. What's his name? I forgot his name, but he great ball.
What's the name of the song?
It was Tin Pan Alley. Don't worry. Stevie Ray Vaughan. There you go. Stevie Ray Vaughan is a bad guy. And then I remember hearing Slash from Guns N' Roses do the Godfather theme. That brilliant. Jimi Hendrix took it. Then what happened? Jimi Hendrix wear the funky clothes, sing the way he sang, and did all the great music. And what happened? Prince came. And Prince signed at the time. Prince took the guitar. And you can't tell me Prince went bad. That was a splitting, bad guitar playing guy in the world. But we didn't think. Just like
I love Carlos Santana.
Santana bad.
Yes.
He awesome. So you have evolving. Just like you look at Will Chamberlain. Everybody said, oh, this big old giant, Will Chamberlain. Nobody do what Will Chamberlain did. Then you had this big old giant Shaquille O'Neal come back. And Akeem Olajuwon and Patrick Ewing. You had centers that evolved the game. You know, everybody said back in the day, David Thompson, this man could jump out the gym. Nobody made a jump like David Thompson. Okay, what happened? Here comes Dr. J. Okay. Dr. J came for the free throw line. Dr. J was dunking on people, flying over people over there. There'll never be another Dr. J. There'll never be another. Then what happened? Michael Jordan come along. And Michael Jordan taking air. He jumped out the gym. He came from the free throw line moving the ball. And they said, well, there'll never be a Michael Jordan. There was a kid that just won a dunk contest last year or the year before last. I think we got him now. The Bulls got him now. But he was on Toronto, either on the Raptors, or he was on the other one. I forgot the other team. This kid came from the free throw line and took the ball between his legs. Now, Michael floated was like, wow. He jumped from the free throw line and took it between his legs from the free throw line and dunked it. Whoa. Think about that.
I'm gonna need to go find that video clip.
And then so everybody said there can never ever be anybody another Michael. Michael just stopped with Michael until a young man by the name of Kobe Bryant just took ball to a level. The vicious and ferociousness of Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan last game that he played with the Wizards in LA, Kobe took the torch from Michael. Michael scored, 26 points? Kobe had 45 points in the first half. He was hitting threes left and right. That's why it's hard for me to respect LeBron. LeBron is a great player. And what really made me respect LeBron was the fact that LeBron left Miami and went back to Cleveland and won a championship. That showed me how great LeBron was. But they always get this comparison of him and Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan didn't go to the Pistons to win the championship. I ain't going to another team. And like Michael said, the league was different. In this now, you only got maybe one or two good players on a team. When Michael was great, you had a whole bunch of players on the team. You know what I mean? You had a lot of players on the team. So what I'm saying is that it's going to evolve. We always evolve it into somebody's great. You know, Steve Harvey. I think Steve Harvey is great. Oprah Winfrey is great. And I think I'm going to replace both of them soon enough. Now, what do you think about evolution?
I don't think you're going to replace them. I think that you'll be sharing the platform.
You know?
I don't want Oprah to go anywhere.
All right.
Yeah.
You know? Now, what do you think about evolution? Do you think that there's going to be somebody greater come along that's greater than what we have today?
Absolutely. Absolutely. It has to be. It has to be.
Why so?
Because everything grows and evolves and gets better and better and better and better as the year go on. You learn from your mistakes, you learn from the mistakes of others, you develop things. I think God gives you ideas, you know, that weren't around before. There's technology that wasn't around before. There's opportunities that weren't around before that will open up different ideas, develop different ideas and different ways of communications and stuff like that. So I think all those things are a factor to evolution. And also being people that, teach each other, so other people can learn from us, the books that we write, the messages that we send, our sharing our testimonies. This develops people and stop them from making different decisions or mistakes and things of that nature. So that's all a part of evolution.
Now, okay, we got somebody with a great mind. No, I'm sorry, great ability, great talent, great work ethic, great opportunity. What is the mind frame of great people? To be April the agent, to be good, what type of mind frame you got to have?
You have to believe in yourself. You have to be strong. You have to understand that there are certain people that you want to have in your life, because it does, you can't do everything by yourself. Some things you have to do by yourself. Sometimes you do have to encourage yourself and push yourself, but you have to understand the hard part when you have to push people out of your life or pull yourself away from certain individuals. You have to decide that you're going to have a circle with only people, with like-minded individuals, only people that are positive to what you're trying to bring to the world. Once you make that decision, that's a big part of it. So your own mindset, the way that you think about yourself, the way that you believe in yourself, trust yourself, the way that you trust God, all those things are a factor. How passionate about whatever it is you're trying to do, how much do you really, really want it? How important is it to you? Do you feel like for me, I could be asleep and I could have a dream. I wake up and I have to write it down, or I could be walking, or I could be driving and I get this song in my head, or I'm somewhere and I have to be able to write it down, or I have to be able to talk it, into a device so I could remember. Otherwise I'll forget. So it's something that it takes a hold of you, whatever that purpose is, whatever that divine thing is that you have, it's a part of your being. It takes a hold of you, and it's nothing, you can't like get away from it. You can't stop it. It's just there, and it's a part of you, and you have to embrace it. And decide that you're going to embrace it, decide that you're going to be successful, decide that you are going to make it, and believe in whatever it is that you're trying to get with your whole heart, regardless of what anybody has to say or how anybody feel about it, because it's not their dream, it's not their vision. They don't have to see it, they don't have to understand it. If they can't support you and everything they're saying is negative, 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 then they don't need to be in your life. They don't need to experience your success with you. Point blank, period.
You know, what I would say about that is, you remember Rocky 3, and you remember the song "Eye of the Tiger."
Mm-hmm.
You remember when he got beat or jacked up by what was that, Mr. T?
Yes.
I forgot what his name was in the movie, and he started training with Apollo Creed,
Right.
and Apollo Creed made him realize that he was afraid. He said, "Look at those guys in there." He said, "It's not the footwork, it's not that. Look at those guys." He said, "What they have is the eye of the tiger." When you think about great people, they have to have a steel trap for a mind. They got to know in their eyes that there is no, that I'm good. You got to. I mean, it's just like a fighter. Mike Tyson would prance. He would psych you out because he'd come in there with all black on, no socks on, no nothing, gladiator style, and he pranced it back and forth, looking at you. Like I'm about to beat the stew at you. You in trouble. You know what I mean? So when you gotta have an eye of a tiger. I like what Puff Daddy said to Biggie Small. He said, "I'm hungry." He said, "Don't chase the money, chase the dream." He said, you put me in a jungle, I'm going to come back 10 pounds heavier from eating them guys because I'm hungry. And that's how I am. I'm hungry. You know, you can't stop me. You can't deny me. God already gave me. So I'm hungry. I'm aggressive. I don't care. You can give me 5 minutes or 5 hours. I'm going to be good in it because I'm ready. Because my mom used to always tell me when I was young, it's better to be prepared for opportunity and not have one than to have one not being prepared. I am prepared. I am loaded up. I am ready. I don't care if it's radio. I don't care if it's TV. I don't care if it's a talk show. Whatever you give me, I'm going to flourish on it because I'm hungry, because my mindset is I'm the best. The way I look at life is I'm the best without opportunities. That's how I look at life. The only thing that separates me from Oprah, Tony Robbins, and some of these other great people is the opportunity they have. You know, give me the opportunity and I'll be just as good or better. That's how I look at life. I have that. Nothing fears me. You know, I want to be an impact. Wherever I go, I'm going to be impactful. You know, I'm going to be who I am, but I'm going to be who I am passionately. You know, one thing that separates people so much from great people, from just making the people, passion. People that's not afraid to be themselves. See, most times when people see you yourself, they're afraid because you know why? They're not themselves. That's why a lot of great people don't like for you to be in positions where they're at. Because you know why? I mean, you give me on anybody's radio show, anybody's talk show, you give me a chance to speak or open or answer a question, I am going to do it to a whole nother level because that's who I am. And when you realize that greatness was put in you from the foundation of the world by God, then you will get and realize that you belong. See, for so many years in my past, I didn't think I belonged. So when I got into places with great people, I would get starstruck. I would be like, oh, this is so-and-so from that. So this person has that. And I know people like that in my life right now. I know people that, you know, this person does this or this person is the this, the that. Okay, well, whoop-de-doo. You know, I am not impressed. Just like when people say I'm a bishop, I'm a doctor, I'm a pastor. That does not impress me. What impresses me is who lives has been changed since you've been there. You know, when somebody say, well, okay, Corey, you know, what do you value as a man or woman of God or a man of God? What do you value? What I value is how many people have been saved, not how many people who see me. You know, there is nothing that I do for anybody to say, okay, wow, he's a great man of God. No, I do because God gets the glory. So when I was in the room with great people, I'm standing there as your equal. The difference between you is what you have, money and opportunity. It doesn't mean there's no difference in me. I bleed just like you bleed. I can get hurt like you get hurt. And I cannot be great just like you cannot be great. That's the reason why people now, there is a series that Oprah has. It's called Masterclass. And she had Jay-Z on the Masterclass. And they asked Jay-Z, they said, Jay-Z, what is your definition of greatness? He said, greatness to me is repeating greatness. He said, repeating a replication is greatness. See, one great album is a fluke. Two great albums can be lucky. But 5 great albums is ability. And see, he said, I have been doing the great albums and I have been amongst the best for the last 10 years. JC is in his 40s, I think, 45, 40, still dropping heat, still one of the greatest entertainers. Let's take Rolling Stones. The Rolling Stones is still selling out stadiums, and they was doing that in the 60s. You know, they're still doing it. That's how you become a masterclass in greatness. What makes you great? Why I love Oprah is because so many people didn't give Oprah a chance and think she could do it because she didn't look the way they thought she should look. You know, when she was young, they made her sleep outside because she was considered too dark and the light kids had to sleep. So she had to sleep on the porch with the animals. And see, what Oprah did was Oprah knew her ability and give me opportunity. So they call themselves, we're going to pacify you, Oprah, and we're going to give you Chicago AM in Chicago, the Windy City, where you're going to go and you're going to do a show. Nobody seen the Oprah Winfrey show was going to blow into what it is to now she owns a network.
Look at God.
Think of that. So you got to know you good. I know my ability and what God has given me. And I know I can stand in front of anywhere, any place. I can preach at anybody's pulpit. I can speak on anybody's stage in front of hundreds of thousands, in front of two. Because I know what God has had. That's why you got to have a mainframe, especially in your mind, that you're great. You got to know your value and your work prior to you doing it. See, so many people make the mistake of getting into an opportunity or a chance and think that that chance is going to make them great. What good is to have a concert full of people you got nothing to rap about? What good is you to have nothing to talk about? Nobody's being changed. That's why, you know, some of these rap concerts, they make my head hurt. Because everybody, put your hands in the air, wave like you're just going, hey, no, come on. You know, sit down with ability. That's what makes you great. But already be ready for that ability when you get there. I tell anybody, just give me an opportunity, I'll do the rest. What you think? Go ahead.
I was just gonna go back to talking about basically believing in yourself. Oprah Winfrey was talking about how she was afraid to step out of the box and be herself and think highly of herself because she feel bad about it. Because people will be like, and this is her words, ooh, she thinks she's so much. She think that she's, what did they say? She thinks she's so full of herself. She's so full of herself, and she will feel bad about that. But now she embraces being full of herself and loving herself and believing in herself. You know, you have to come to that point that it doesn't matter what other people say about you. It matters what you say about you. It matters what God says about you. And that's all that matters. And you have to decide that what you want for your life, and don't let other people decide that for you.
Okay, now, because we're coming to the later part of our show, summarize what is more important to you, ability or God-given talent, or both, and give your final analogy on why you think either one or whatever you want to say.
It's the same thing that I've been saying the whole show. It's a combination. Everything works together. You can't have one and not have the other and expect to be successful with it. You know, you can't expect for things to grow and develop if you don't work the muscle. You can't expect to exceed at something if you never step out into that gift or that purpose or that whatever it is that you want or whatever your desire is. If you never step into it, how will you know? How will anyone know? You know, if you never share, then how will anybody know about your gift? You know, that's why I love a lot of artists like Erykah Badu, Jill Scott. These are artists that had the integrity, and they had the know-how. They had the confidence to share their gift with everybody, you know, and they were able to touch a lot of other different artists and have them come into the business, and people that were in the business, they decided to spread their wings and develop their art and to be better artists. You know, people that they've dealt with, Common, Andre 3000, Floetry, you know, these are amazing talents that were touched by another talent. You have, where you talked about James Brown, you know, people from way back in the day. You know, everybody develops, and it's a continual growth, and it should always be a continual growth with life cycles. You know, evolution is inevitable. Are you going to be a part of it? Are you going to sit on the sidelines? Are you going to open yourself up? Are you going to reach in and find your it factor and begin to develop it, and begin to believe in yourself, begin to walk away from naysayers, begin to close your ears to them and open your heart to yourself? You have to make that decision. It's all up to you. You have to believe in yourself and be full of yourself, be full of loving yourself, be full of believing in yourself, and just go for it.
Okay, my final analogy. First of all, we got to know ourselves, and we got to know what put there. I don't care if you work hard as anybody, and you got great determination, you got great focus, you got great work ethics. If you don't have ability there, then you are not going to be good at it. There are certain things that God created us to do. And I don't care how bad you want to do something. If God didn't call you to do that and give you the ability or the God gifts to do it, you're not going to do it. plain and simple. And the reason why I say that, let's take, there are certain people who are talent finders. Anybody that owns a business, they have to be talent finders. They can always cultivate talent. Take, for instance, we sit here on intellectual radio. In order for us to have a show on intellectual radio, we have to be intellectual. Duh. Now the owner has to sit here and dissect if we have talent. Like I was saying earlier in the show, there is a lot of coaching that you guys don't see outside of the place, as far as not saying even though April say all the time and stuff like that, or a lot of cultivating.
I'm in development.
Right. When I sat here and did my very first show, almost 9-10 months ago, and the owner had to understand that he has talent because he sat here and talked for 1 hour. He has talent. I can work with what he has because he has something. Like when Gus D'Amato found Mike Tyson, I can work with Mike Tyson had because he has talent. Michael Jordan said, Dean Smith said that Michael Jordan was the greatest physical talent he'd seen. But what he taught Michael Jordan was the fundamentals of the game. So when Michael Jordan learned the fundamentals with his ability, he was unstoppable. And so many people don't get the fact that you have to have something there. And the only way you can know what you got there is to identify what God gave you. Because hard work is not going to get you talents and gifts that you don't have. Just like being a surgeon has a gift with their hands. Just like April being a poet, she has a gift with words. I like spoken word, but am I a good spoken word artist? No. I can work and be better and maybe have great poems, but I will never have the consistency like I am in inspirationally speaking to people, because that's my gifts and that's what can be worked on. Michael Jordan was a great basketball player that his gifts was cultivated, that he already had, just like Michael Jackson. Motown was a machine that taught you how to walk, taught you how to talk, how to give interviews. They did everything for you, one big machine, but you had to have the talent in order to be able to be great. That was Oprah had the ability. When you see her interview, when I watched Oprah audition tape for her to get the show Chicago AM, and it was brilliant and very articulate how she spoke about herself, because in order for you to do that, you have to do it. Now Jay-Z has a recipe. Jay-Z, they say, well, why you come up with some of the flows? He says he finds his raps in the music. And he doesn't try to rap over the music. He try to make his voice become part of the music as a whole collaboration, which makes him keep doing the same thing. Fire. You got to have ability. We have so many people that see something, some people that see something and that they're trying to be. MC Hammer knew that he was not a great rapper, but MC Hammer knew that he could dance so good that he was going to sell records. And what people don't know about MC Hammer, everybody talk about all these other great artists. MC Hammer sold 65,000 albums out his trunk before he ever had a record deal. So when you look at ability and you know what you're good at, then you can start practicing. But you got to have something there. A lot of people looking for the great chance or the great opportunity or that moment in life because they not homing on their ability. So they're looking for a stroke of luck instead of ability chasing or bringing your opportunities. See, when I do what I do well, which is speaking, it has opened up doors all around the world for me because people know that I can talk. Why? Because you know why? It has been cultivated. In 10 months, I have grown here more than I've ever grown in broadcasting school. Because again, I am being cultivated, but you got to identify talent. I'm sure that the owner probably had somebody here with a show that was terrible. They get on the show and stuff. My name is Jim. I'm over here from the, and cussing and come on, you don't have it. There are some people that's probably went to culinary school where the chef be like, listen, you can't even you can't boil a pack of noodles. You definitely need to put this down. Come on. You've heard poets that suck. They get up there and say the same thing. I don't know what I'm saying, but feel me. Give me some chicken and some watermelon. I mean, I'm just being real about it.
They have no substance.
No substance. So can somebody become a great person with hard work, dedication, and practice? I don't think so, but it's possible. 9 times out of 10, no. Can somebody get there with talent? Yes, because talent can be cultivated and practiced, because what's there can be renewed or can be shaped. It's just like a sculpture. The person's mind, in their mind, they already have a picture of what they want to sculpt out. So what happens is they take this big old piece of wood and they cut pieces off of it. But they already got the piece of wood or the piece of concrete and they cut stuff. So then now you got a statue or you got a picture, because they have carved it out of what they already got. If you have nothing there that makes you good at something, don't think you just gonna get in it and be good at it. You're not. Radio is something that I'm good at because I'm good at talking. And I've gotten better under Earl, under Wanda, under guidance from this radio station. But the talent was already there. It just needed to be cultivated. You see how blessed and amazing April is? I knew her ability when I first met her. And all I needed for her to be here. She was given a compliment. She's one of the greatest improving, or if not the greatest new improved co-hosts of all the shows. Because she's got that ability, but it was already there. So as she got here, she started to be cultivated by the owner, by people here, by my, I'm saying, I ain't gonna say by myself,
yes,
but cultivated. Now she do it.
Embrace yourself.
If you have nothing there, you have nothing to work with. Use what you got that's already there to work on what you want to do to get you where you want to go. But if you have no talent, no gifts, hard work ain't gonna get you nothing. It's gonna find you more hard work. Go ahead.
You have to be open to learn. And I don't like to tell people that they can't do anything because it's not up to me. I have no right to do that. I believe that people have to develop that for themselves. And I believe that failure leads to success. So because one thing doesn't work, perhaps that's not the thing for you, or perhaps you should try it again. You have to come to that conclusion and figure that out. The Bible says I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. So you can do anything that you put your mind to that is meant for you to do. Again, everyone has the it factor. Everyone is born with it. You're created with it. You have a purpose. You just have to find out what that purpose is. I can't dictate what that is. And the reason why I'm that way, because I had so many people around me, like surrounding me, for a very, very long time, telling me, no, don't, you can't, how, whatever, a bunch of negativity. And I refuse to allow that in my life. And I refuse to give that out to anybody. I will not tell anybody they can't. I will always encourage people, as long as it's positive, it's not hurting anyone, it's not hurting you. I'm going to pray that I be that person to be the encourager. I don't want to tell nobody that they can't do anything, because you can do whatever it is that you're meant to do.
All right, people of God. So again, you know what? Get up and be your own rescue. Understand that you got to know what you do well. And if you know what you do well, you can cultivate it to being great. Thank you guys for tuning in to the show. Next week, we got some hot topics. One of the topics next week that we're going to talk about, and it's a powerful topic, I did a lot of research on it, is that having love in your life can make your illness better. And not saying terminal ill. There are some people that deal with challenges every day that when they got the right love in their life, it don't even bother them no more.
Or dissipate.
It dissipates. So we're gonna talk about that next week. Thank you again for another episode and watching again. And always remember, if it was easy, there'll be no April the agent. If it was easy, there'll be no Minister Corey Wright. If it was easy, there'll be no Earl Winfrey, IntellectualRadio.com. But more importantly, if it was easy, there'll be no you. See you at work. Peace.
See you at work.
You don't need no ticket. You just get on board. You just get on